Coming up next, another church in Patton Township burned down, and state officials are now looking into if it was more than an accident.
We can't think of a reason why somebody would want to do this.
Plus, as election night approaches, find out more about how Pennsylvania will impact the outcome of this year's race.
And with fall weather in full swing, see how locals celebrate the season with an annual state college tradition. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Declan Stablo.
And I'm Hannah Valcourt. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story: 2 churches, 2 fires in the same township. Investigators are still trying to pin down what caused both overnight fires in recent weeks. Another early morning fire gutted a Patton Township church building. Alpha Fire Company responded to the Old Fillmore United Methodist Church on Buffalo Run, where they found the building engulfed in flames. According to Center Region Fire Director Sean Kaufman, the building was unoccupied and had not been in use as a church for several years. Members of the fire department tried to extinguish the involved fire, but part of the roof collapsed and crews were then told to evacuate. The cause of the fire is unknown, but the state fire marshal's office is looking into whether this fire and the Woody Crest United Methodist Church fire that happened less than a month ago were possible arson. Both fires happened overnight. Both churches are United Methodist and both are in Patton Township. Pastor Renee Ford of the Woody Crest United Methodist Church said it's hard to find a reason why this would happen intentionally.
From our perspective and vantage point, it seems to have happened out of nowhere. We can't think of a reason why somebody would want to do this.
She says the only change in the church was overturning the ban on gay clergy members and same-sex marriage, which happened back in May. Kaya Raber is a practicing Methodist who has never experienced anything like this in her community.
I personally am not sure if I should feel threatened.
There's no official word that these fires were intentionally set. We tried to reach out to the Patton Township Police Department for more information about the investigation, but they didn't respond for an interview.
State College police are requesting help as they look for more information on local car vandalisms. According to police, multiple cars were damaged in the early morning hours of September 8th in State College. The suspect damaged multiple cars in fraternity parking lots along East Fairmont Ave and Locust Lane. Police are asking anyone with information about the incidents to contact the department right away.
Construction on Atherton Street in State College is nearing completion. PennDOT says the current phase that began in 2022 is set to wrap up by early November. Paving between Curtin Road and West Beaver finished last week. Now this week, crews will focus on pavement markings, traffic signal upgrades, and planting street trees. PennDOT says travel delays should be less significant than the early stages of work.
The rebuild and recovery is underway in Florida this week after Hurricane Milton roared ashore last week. The storm forced massive evacuations and left a trail of destruction across the state. Reporter Dimitra Gerguchis has the latest.
As Hurricane Milton approached Florida, families scrambled to protect their homes and ensure their safety. The storm, classified as a Category 3 hurricane, brought strong winds of up to 115 miles an hour and heavy rainfall, causing significant flooding in coastal areas. The vice chair of Tampa City Council, Alan Clendenin, talks about the issues Tampa Bay is facing after being hit with back-to-back hurricanes.
And we've had a lot of anguish and a lot of heartbreak in many areas of our community, from not just the storm surge 2 weeks ago, but also now this freshwater flooding that we're dealing with.
Evacuation orders were issued for several counties, forcing residents to seek shelter away from their homes. For many, the decision to leave was difficult but necessary. Among those feeling the impact of Hurricane Milton is Penn State student Christian Williams, whose family was forced to evacuate their home in Florida.
Scary that something like that could happen. Your whole house could be washed away pretty much. Your whole house could collapse. It's pretty scary, obviously.
His parents finally returned to assess the damage and reported back to him.
They drove back down today. They said most of the things they saw was the roads are still flooded and stuff. There's a lot of accidents going there. All the trees in their neighborhood are blown down, debris everywhere. So that's the main thing now. It's just cleaning up after the storm right now. That's what they're dealing with.
As recovery efforts begin, communities are coming together to support those affected. Local organizations are providing food, shelter, and resources to help families rebuild. In University Park, I'm Demetra Gerguches for the Center County Report.
Communities are facing significant challenges as they continue the recovery process after the storm. Despite the devastation, emergency responders have already rescued hundreds of people and are on the road to rebuilding.
Experts say there's an alarming rise in a new tick-borne illness across the Northeast. Rates of the parasitic disease Babesiosis, often referred to as American malaria, is rising at an average of 9% per year. The parasite attacks red blood cells and causes flu-like symptoms that can be deadly for elderly and immunocompromised populations. Experts say that the best prevention is to check yourself for ticks after time spent outdoors.
This morning, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned a lower court's decision that would have allowed Pennsylvania residents under 21 to carry guns under certain circumstances. The ruling addresses a state law that bars 18 to 20-year-olds from openly carrying firearms during declared states of emergencies. A federal appeals court previously ruled the law violated the Second Amendment, but today's ruling leaves the law in place, keeping the minimum age at 21. We're just 3 weeks away from the election, and Pennsylvania will likely be key to the outcome. Reporter Kenny Ojikari is live with more. Kenny?
Yeah, see, 2004 was the last time a candidate won the election without winning Pennsylvania. George W. Bush was the last to do so. Swing states in this election are going to include Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, and maybe most important of all, Pennsylvania. It's still unclear who will win the state of Pennsylvania as both candidates are deadlocked. Pennsylvania holds 19 electoral college votes, which is the most among swing states. Both candidates have made an effort to visit different parts of the state to court as many potential voters as possible.
They make the difference between winning a county and losing a county, and then statewide, if it's very close, they're going to make a difference.
The Trump campaign stopped in Erie a few weeks ago, and Kamala Harris visited yesterday. It will be a pivotal area for capturing the state, according to Dan Mallinson.
Erie is seen as the bellwether for Pennsylvania. It's generally gone with the winner pretty consistently for multiple election cycles now.
In the last election, Biden won PA by less than 100,000 votes. In 2016, Trump won by only 44,000 votes. This time around, polls are anticipating another toss-up. There are several key issues in this election for voters. Among those are the economy, reproductive rights, healthcare, and border control. And each issue could ultimately decide which way a swing voter leans. We've seen both candidates doing a media blitz. The Trump campaign has spent over $130 million on Pennsylvania. The Harris campaign, over $150. Combined, both candidates have visited 46 times already as the national election rests just 20 days away. The race for PA is super tight. Polls show Vice President Kamala Harris currently leading former President Donald Trump narrowly by 0.7%. When it comes to this race, if you want to play, you've got to win PA. Reporting live in State College, I'm Kenny Ojikari for the Center County Report. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kenny. Still to come on the Center County Report, we'll have your 7-day weather forecast.
And the longtime autumn tradition in State College. Also coming up, a look into the impact of the U.S. Dockworkers Union strike. It's now on pause, but it could happen again.
A historic U.S. strike is still on hold following a tentative contract agreement contingent on wages. Reporter Madison Schmidt has more on the potential impacts that could be felt if the strike resumes.
For 3 days, the union representing more than 45,000 U.S. dock workers went on strike for the first time since 1977. They hit the picket lines on the East and Gulf Coasts after their contract expired, and a dispute over pay and automation at ports. The union wanted a 77% wage increase for dock workers and was met with a counteroffer of nearly 50%. Penn State Labor and Employment Relations professor Paul Clark says that while that number may seem high, the dock workers have a lot of bargaining power on their side.
They've been falling behind in terms of their compensation. It hasn't kept up with the cost of living. Also, the shipping companies have been making incredible profits.
Although the strike is on pause until January, there's still the potential threat for it to start again. This could pose problems for supply chain issues and product shortages later on.
The ILA and U.S. Maritime Alliance reached a deal to continue negotiating until January 15th, but workers will be covered under the old contract until then. Delaware River business owner B.J. Moran said if the strike were to continue, it would cause workflow problems for his employees.
The volumes of ship would decrease, which would be an issue for us and that comes up the river. We're a small company. We have like 6 full-time employees. So just the volume that drops off means we don't have any work for our employees.
He expressed his concerns, saying that while the dock workers can unionize, his company cannot.
Small businesses can't unionize like everybody else can. So we need the vessel traffic on the river.
While businesses can now breathe a sigh of relief before the holiday season, there is still a sense of uncertainty about future economic disturbances. In State College, I'm Madison Schmidt for the Center County Report.
Despite a wage negotiation in the works, dock workers are still concerned about the use of automation in their industry.
Well, it was a bit of a chilly start, and you still might need that extra layer if you're heading out today or tomorrow. A live look over the Arboretum right now showing a mix of clouds and sunshine overhead, but down below you can see some of the beautiful colors here, and in fact, we're approaching peak foliage here in central Pennsylvania, so get outside over the next few days if you can and enjoy it. Right now, a temperature of 48 degrees at the Arboretum, but it feels just a little bit cooler than that, and that's actually because we've had the winds gusting up over the course of the morning, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour, so not as gusty as yesterday, but still something to keep in mind that wind may be a factor in how it feels outside over the next few days. We have a frosty few nights on the way. Could see a frost this evening, maybe even a hard freeze tomorrow evening, but the good news is sunshine returns in full force for Thursday, and it sticks around for a pretty gorgeous weekend we have on the way. The radar satellite right now is showing almost a popcorny mix of showers across much of the state right now, but not all of these are even making it to the ground. A lot of them evaporate before they reach the ground, and a lot of them are quick 5-minute or so showers. So I do think we actually stay dry through most of the afternoon, aside from maybe a passing shower. Temperatures won't get above the lower 50s here in State College, so it will remain chilly this afternoon. And this evening, that's where we could see a frost across portions of central Pennsylvania. 36 our low for State College, and 35 is our low for Bradford. Now, I talk about a frost and a freeze, right? Well, what's the difference? And there is actually a technical difference. A frost is when the temperature gets below 36 degrees Fahrenheit, but in order to get a hard freeze, you need the temperature to drop below that freezing level, and that's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And I think we have a better shot of seeing a hard freeze tomorrow evening. Tomorrow, though, a high of only about 49 degrees. It will be chilly once again with partly cloudy skies. But as we head into later this week, we'll begin to warm up just a little bit. I do think that shower chance sticks around tomorrow on a very isolated basis with these popcorn showers. So we may see one. I do think we'll stay mostly dry through the day tomorrow. Not something to worry about entirely, but just keep it in mind when you're planning for your day tomorrow. By the afternoon, it should clear up, and we should clear out heading into tomorrow evening. That's what will enable us to possibly see a freeze risk later on in the evening. High temperatures, though, as we get toward the end of the week, they begin to increase into the upper 60s, close to that 70-degree mark. And in the 7-day forecast, you can see we actually do reach the 70-degree mark as we head towards Sunday and Monday. The weekend looking phenomenal. So unfortunately, we don't have a home football game, but there's plenty of other chances to get out and enjoy the nice weather this weekend.
I'm so excited the sunshine's going to finally be back for a stretch of time.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see the sun, but until then, you will not see me without a coat on. Now to Chris Reynolds with sports.
Coming up in sports, Penn State men's hockey heads into its bye week after road trips to Alaska and Quinnipiac. And the Nittany Lions rise in the latest rankings after their long trip and a big win on the West Coast. I'm Chris Reynolds with sports. Penn State football heads into another bye week undefeated with a 6-0 record. The Nittany Lions traveled to USC Saturday in what became an overtime thriller. In Penn State's first road game this season against a Big Ten opponent, the team found itself in a deficit after a hot start by USC. Quentin Joyner scored a rushing and a receiving touchdown in the first half, fueling the Trojans' offense and giving them a 20-6 lead. The Nittany Lions responded strongly in the second half, powered behind Drew Aller and Tyler Warren. Aller had a career-high 391 passing yards, and Warren racked up 17 catches for 224 yards. His 17 receptions tied the FBS single-game record for a tight end, and his 224 yards set the new tight end receiving mark for the Big Ten. James Franklin praised his star player after the game, calling him one of the best players in all of college football. Late in the game, the defense made multiple crucial stops to hand the ball back to the offense. A touchdown by Nick Singleton tied the game with just under 3 minutes left, sending the Nittany Lions into a high-stakes finish. In overtime, Penn State stopped USC on their first drive, and a missed field goal gave the Nittany Lions a chance to secure the win. A 36-yard field goal from walk-on kicker Ryan Barker won the game for a final score of 33-30. Barker said it's truly a dream come true because all he's ever wanted to do is hit a game winner for Penn State. Penn State is now ranked number 3 in the AP poll, their highest ranking since 2017. They'll take on Wisconsin following the bye week at 7:30 in Madison. Now to high school football. State College beat Central Dauphin East 55-17 to hand the Panthers their first loss. Penn Cambria took down Bellwood Antis 45-6 to remain undefeated, and Bishop McCourt shut out Bellefonte 28-0. After the whistles, Cassie Vaselis has more.
The Crushers used a fast start to get things going against Bellefonte. McCourt put the Red Raiders in a hole, and the defense kept them down.
We didn't just get a shutout. We got a shutout against what we think is a really good football team. And that's a credit to my defensive coordinator, Coach Flight. He works really hard, our players, and everyone that helps us on prepare for the week. And I thought we executed very well tonight.
Quarterback Angela Galucci and Jonathan D'Elia say they are best friends as they combined for all 4 touchdowns throughout the game.
You saw it in the highlights. John D'Elia made a last-second catch into the end zone to end the first half. For Bellefonte, this was a tough way to go into the locker room.
I got collapsed from the outside, so I stepped up. I honestly just aired it out. I was hoping for the best. And of course, John comes down with it.
I saw an opening, I ran to it, and I told Ange before the play, throw me the ball because I got it.
Bishop McCourt won its 4th game in a row. The team hopes to keep the wins coming as we approach the playoffs.
It was important for us to get a fast start on the road. It took us an hour and 45 minutes to get here. And like I said, they're a good football team, and I think that was obviously the key to us winning was getting a great start, and we were fortunate enough to do that tonight.
You can see highlights from the top local high school games every Friday on After the Whistle. That's 11:30 p.m. on our YouTube channel. Penn State women's soccer had a tough 90-minute battle against Minnesota at Jeffrey Field on Sunday. The Lions scored less than a minute in, with Minnesota answering in the 10th minute off of a corner kick. 5 minutes after the Golden Gophers tied the game, Sophia Romine had an unassisted goal to give Minnesota a 1-goal lead. A turnover gave Penn State the opportunity to tie the game at 2 apiece heading into halftime. They would go on to win 3-2 thanks to a Jordan Fusco goal in the 82nd minute. Penn State men's hockey is on a bye week after being on the road the last 2 weeks. Saturday, they took on 8th-ranked Quinnipiac. Danny Geneyev and Ben Schoen had the only scored goals for Penn State. New junior goalie transfer from UConn, Arseniy Sergeyev, made 19 saves. The Bobcats held on to beat the Nittany Lions 3-2. That's all for sports. Now back to you, Hannah and Declan.
I'm so excited that men's hockey's finally going to back here after the bye week.
Yeah, it's a tough loss this past weekend, but you know they're going to be feeling the energy from the Roar Zone when they get back.
It definitely.
Thanks, Chris. We show you a fun-filled day at a fall festival in State College, and we hear more about an organization's first appearance at the event.
A long-time State College fall tradition returned over the weekend. I had a chance to stop by and see what was going on.
Downtown State College turned into a forum of family fun this Saturday as the 200 block of South Allen Street hosted the 23rd annual Fall Fest. The event featured plenty of entertainment for the kids, including pumpkin decorating, pony rides, and more, drawing attendees from throughout Central County.
We see a lot of familiar faces, and it's just nice to be out. It's a lovely day, right? It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. I think it's just a really nice way to get people to come downtown and
interact with each other. We get to see each other. We're all around and enjoying a party-like atmosphere.
Downtown Improvement District Executive Director Leanne Jeffries spoke about how events like this impact the community.
Our mission at the Downtown Improvement District is to create and support a vibrant downtown, and part of that is having free community events.
Along with food and entertainment for the kids, the festival also welcomed several nonprofits to spread awareness about their organizations. Among the groups present today was CenterSafe, a local resource for survivors of domestic violence, sexual violence, and stalking.
For us, coming out to community events like this is really important because we really like people to know that we are here and ready for them if and when they need our services.
One organization making their first Fall Fest appearance is the Educational Justice League, led by Dr. Saria Chatters.
We are a group of parents, teachers, as well as students, and our goal is to focus on trying to work to infuse more equity into education for kids that are in kindergarten through 12th grade.
The EJL hosted several read-alouds throughout the day for kids to learn more about different high holidays. If you're looking for more fall fun in Center County, head to the Penn State Arboretum this Friday for the annual Pumpkin Fest. Thousands of people attend the event every year, and hundreds take part in the pumpkin carving contest.
That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Friday for our next local news update.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great afternoon.